Most guys think charm means acting goofy, awkward, or making fun of themselves so a woman feels safe around them. But let me tell you something, okay? I am just a normal guy. I've got decent looks, but I'm not super tall. But what I do have is the ability to be playful, to tease her a little bit, to stand my ground and keep the interaction fun without lowering myself. And that alone has opened more doors with women than anything else. The problem is most men confuse charm with self-deprecation. They think being overly humble or poking fun at themselves makes them lovable, but it actually kills attraction later on down the line. Women do not want a man who shrinks himself. They want a man who can play, flirt, challenge them a bit, and stay confident while doing it. So today I'm going to break down exactly how normal men, guys like you and I, can develop real charm, playful confidence, and that spark that makes women want more instead of losing interest. Men's charm has something a lot of men have gotten confused. Ever since the mid 80s to early 90s, there was a big shift in the way men were portrayed on TV and in movies. And what went from actual charm, some of the more classic characters from films like Casablanca or Cary Grant, actors like that, all of a sudden were replaced with guys who were awkward. Okay, these sort of dorky characters who were self-deprecating, always making fun of themselves, guys who were kind of tripping over themselves. They all of a sudden were painted as the ideal romantic hero. These very loving and adorable, cute little guys that women just became smitten with. And what started to happen was that instead of actually being confident, men shifted towards portraying a version of themselves that lacked confidence in the hopes that a woman would find them endearing. And if we're being completely honest, women do find that endearing, especially if a guy is somewhat attractive. He's got a good sense of humor. That self-deprecating persona is amusing. It's adorable. Women do find some of that stuff adorable. So we have to acknowledge the fact that there is a level of attraction with that kind of behavior. But the problem with that is that it's not long term. It's very momentary. It's like a token novelty, right? It's something that's entertaining, brings some giggles, brings some laughs, but in the long run, it is a real big problem. Now, why is that a problem? Well, because oftentimes men who come at it from an approach of self-deprecation and putting themselves down to look very harmless and cute, they start to adopt that mindset throughout the rest of their life. They think, okay, if this is working, then I need to do even more. So they stop leading. They stop being decisive. They stop leading the relationship, leading her, leading themselves, and they look to her for all the answers. They turn themselves more and more into little boys instead of embodying masculine traits that really do draw, attract, and keep a woman around. So ultimately what happens is that women then have to become more masculine, taking care of these goofy yet adorable characters. And while they still may be adorable, the woman starts to drift because she needs the strength of the masculine, not the fun, cutesy, goofy teddy bear thing all the time. Because, as a woman, this is where polarity comes into play. There's one thing to be adorable, but that doesn't necessarily mean that there's polarity, where she feels you as a man and you feel her as a woman. Those things start to get reversed, okay? So that's why that approach is very temporary. And even for a man, when you corner yourself into being that kind of a character, it's going to be hard to step out of it later, because that's essentially how you got the girl in the first place. You may get a girl by being this adorable dork, but oftentimes men start to get resentful because they don't get the respect that they want. Men want respect from their women, but when you act like a dork, it's hard to keep respect from her. Okay. So while she may find you adorable at the beginning, you as a man will get resentful because you're not getting that respect that you really, really want from her. And when you go in public, she'll kind of start to treat you like a little kid instead of like a man. Okay. So what does actual charm look like? Okay. Charm is about confidence and having the balls to actually tease her, right? You're being playful, you're teasing her, you're putting her in her place. You're kind of you do things. For example, I wrote this down and I want to share this with you because it's I want to be very specific about this, okay? It's being able to call her out when she's being dramatic with a smirk, right? You're not being vicious. You're calling her out on something she's doing that's kind of silly with a little smirk on your face, okay? It's being able to create tension that she actually enjoys. The problem with the self-deprecating guys is that they never want tension. They tend to give her free validation, stroke her ego. They say, "Oh, you're so perfect. Oh my God, you're so good at that. You're so beautiful." It's all about it's buying her affection with praise instead of with leadership and strength. Okay, so being able to create a tension that she actually enjoys, that it could be sexual tension, or let's say she shows up, your girl shows up looking absolutely gorgeous, right? Now, the self-deprecating man might be like, "Oh, wow, babe, you just are perfect. You always look so good." And that might be true. That might be an honest, she might always look good, and that's fine. But see, that's not charming. That's just ass kissy, okay? The charming man might say something like, just a very simple example could be like, "Well, you could have actually tried to put some effort into it today." And that, again, you say that with a little smirk because she knows that you're just teasing her, because obviously she does. At the same time, you pull her in, give her a kiss, let her know physically that you find her very attractive. She's looking gorgeous. But just saying, "Oh my God, you look so gorgeous," there's no tension there. You want to play with her feelings. You want to play with her emotions in a fun way, not in a mean way, not in a vicious way. Okay. I also wrote down that it's being able to take her on a little emotional ride, right? She thinks you're serious, then you pull back and reveal that you were just messing with her. Okay, so just like the example I just said, like, "Well, you could have tried to put some effort into what you're wearing today," right? You kind of come off as maybe like, she's like, "What? You don't like the outfit, babe?" And you're like, obviously you're just messing with her. You bring her in, and you could maybe say to her, "No, you look fantastic, baby." You mess with her a little bit, right? So you can say, "Hey, you look fantastic," but you play with her. You take her on a little ride before you get to that answer. This is what charm actually is. This is what being witty and that masculine sense of playfulness is all about. And the difference between this and the self-deprecation is that it requires confidence. Okay, it really requires you to be composed, to have balls, to say some of these things, right? A lot of men don't say things because they're so afraid that the woman will get upset with them and they don't know how to respond to that. But if you lead a woman properly from the beginning, she knows you're the leader and she implicitly trusts you. And she's not going to lose her cool when you do things like this. But if you're Mr. Self-deprecating, when you play that awkward dopey dude, the awkward dopey dork, she has never seen you as the man. She sees you as the playful, cute little teddy bear, but she's never seen you as the man. And that is what you're missing out on, okay? When you don't pedestalize and sort of sabotage yourself, what happens is that the type of charm that you're giving her, the more sophisticated scoundrel type of charm, it makes her feel drawn to you, right? She doesn't feel like she has to take care of you and fluff up your ego like the self-deprecating guy tends to fall into. She is drawn to that strength, that confidence. And this is really what makes the difference between you being cute for a month and you being a man that she never wants to let go of. Does that make sense? The adorable stuff is cute for a month, then she's out, she dumps, she goes, she finds a guy who's actually more masculine. But the other guy, the scoundrel, the playful, charming scoundrel, this is the man that she will not want to let go of. So, if this is something that you struggle with and you want to get help from me directly, click the link down below. It's an opportunity for you to book a one-on-one free consultation call with me where I hear more about you, what you've been struggling with, what's been holding you back. And if it seems like it'd be a good fit for you and I to work together, I will walk you through how my coaching works and we can get you started right away. Okay? All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed this one. I will see you in the next one.